Somehow, I've been a fan of the Persona games for nearly 10 years now. The series caught my eye during the build-up for Persona 5, and it's never left my mind since. I was a fan of this as a teenager, and all of a sudden I'm an adult. What happened? The combat, the music, the sheer stylization on display in all of these games is staggering. This series is one of my favourites for a damn good reason. After I played Persona 5, I grew obsessed and immediately played all the other games. Persona 3 and Persona 4. Not 1 and 2. Those games aren't real. They do not exist. And now that the DLC season for Persona 3 Reload is winding down with episode Aigis, the series finds itself in a unique place. Is the era of Persona 5 over? Has the era of Persona 3 begun again? Or is it time to move on to something completely new? So what's next for the Persona series? Where do we go from here? I think the obvious thing on everyone's mind when you ask this question is the big one. It's time to pull the trigger and release Persona 6. The thing is, the series is currently more popular than ever, despite the fact that we currently have no idea where it's going next. So signaling a brand new beginning with Persona 6 might be the right move. New cast, new style, and a new colour to base the whole game around. You know, like how Persona 3 is blue, and 4 is yellow, 5 is red. It's pretty clear that this next game is going to continue that series tradition, and I'm all for it. Mainly because I think the colour should be hot pink, it would be so good. I see people always asking, "Ooh, Atlas, just release Persona 6 already!" But honestly, I don't think it's anywhere near as simple as that. Each of these games being so heavily stylized with its own unique colour, music, and signature look takes so much effort to develop, and each time the look is so unique and just perfect. Atlas is obviously going to do a better job than me when it comes to artistically designing this game, but if it were up to me, hot pink, like I said, with a punk aesthetic on top. Think that like Britpunk magazine cutout maximalist shit going on everywhere style. Oh, and the music too. Make the music match. Let them cook. But if you had to design Persona 6, what style and colour do you want? Comment down below. Also, while you're there, subscribe, hit that bell. And I think a really interesting direction Persona 6 could take is mix it up a little bit and give us an adult cast. We've always had teenagers, and yeah, I enjoy it a lot. This series is brilliant, and it's never missed from a character writing point of view, but I think this would give a great chance to tell a story that the series has simply never told before. Another direction the Persona series could take, which would be controversial with some of the fanbase, is to keep making Persona 5 spin-offs. Now, I know a lot of people don't want this, and a lot of people think that it's gone way too far and it's time to move on to brand new stuff, but I don't know, with these spin-offs I just kinda like them. Persona 5's a great game, and I love its world and I love its characters, so to me, any more time spent with the Phantom Thieves is a massive win. Do these spin-off games write the Phantom Thieves as masterfully as the original game does? Okay, no, it doesn't, but all of these spin-off games are still good, and a hell of a good time. It's been a long old while since Persona 4 Arena came out, and as a huge fighting game fan, and a huge Arc System Works fan specifically, I would love Persona 5 Arena so much. And after that, after we get that game, I think I'd be ready to move on from the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, because this game would mean everything to me.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
And then since Persona 4 got milked for everything it's worth with spin-offs, and then the same thing is happening now with Persona 5, maybe Persona 3 is going to get that treatment. I know it sounds strange, because Persona 3 is the oldest of them, obviously, but Persona 3 Reload was a massive hit. It was the fastest selling Persona game of all time. It sold 1 million units in just 7 days. Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, of all time, sold about 7.5. So it looks like it's well on track to be the highest selling game in the series. So why not give Persona 3 some spin-offs? You've got some modern assets ready to go. So many people have been playing it. The world and the characters of Persona 3 have had nowhere near as much spotlight as their noisy neighbours have had. So why not give it a go? I think something like Persona 5 Tactica would suit Persona 3 really, really well. That slow, methodical gameplay would pair so well with the Dark Hour, and giving C's new characters to bounce off would lead to so many interesting possibilities that I think this cast needs. I feel like there's more to flesh out with these characters and there's more to find out about them, so I think some new adventures for them would be nothing but a win. Or maybe they could just feature in Persona 5 Arena like they did in 4 Arena. Atlas, please, I'm begging you, just give me this game. It's all I need. I will literally fund it myself. Have you heard anyone talk about Persona Q recently? No, me neither. I haven't heard anyone talk about Persona Q in a long time. Remember those games? All the Persona casts come together for one big adventure? It's awesome! Persona Q2 was the most recent one, and it was one of the last games to release on the 3DS, and that was in 2019. Jesus Christ, support for the 3DS ended in 2019. I'm so old. And it was a great game. Very fun. But not a lot of people got to play it because this game literally came out on a last generation console 2 whole years after the new one dropped. So hey, Persona 5 was a cultural phenomenon, Persona 3 is really popular these days, and Persona 4 is also here. Let's get another Persona Q game going. Both games were on the DS consoles, but I think the Persona Q series deserves a full game on a home console. Not that the original weren't full games, but just something with a bit of a higher budget, you know, a big graphic home console budget. I think these games can really shine if they're given the same treatment as some smaller Atlas titles like Soul Hackers or the upcoming Metaphor ReFantasio. Both games look great, but they're clearly not on the same scale as something like Persona 3 Reload or Persona 5 Royal. Hey, if you're gonna make Persona Q3, how about you expand it even more? Put the Persona 1 and 2 cast in this game, it would make them extra special. Hey, I just acknowledged Persona 1 and 2, maybe those games really do exist after all. So more of the same with some Persona 5 spin-offs? Persona 3 finally getting its time in the sun? A new collab game to cap off this era of Persona? Or bringing a new era in with Persona 6? All these things seem like the logical next step for this series. But where do you think it's going next? And if we do get Persona 6, what style and colour do you want to see? Be sure to comment that down below. I will be responding because I'm so passionate about this series and I want to see what you have to say. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed and subscribe because all of my content is absolutely phenomenal. And I'll see you in the next one.